the mother of all. There is a being that encompasses all, and it existed before earth or the universe. Calm, indeed, and immaterial, it is singular and changeless. All creation flows from it and returns to it. It is the world's mother. I cannot define it, but I will call it the Tao. If forced to describe it, I will call it great. The great is evasive. The evasive is distant. The distant is ever coming near. The Tao is great, so is the universe great, so is Earth, and so is humanity. Humanity is the child of Earth. Earth is the child of the universe. The universe is the child of the Tao. The Tao has no mother, but is mother of all. That is chapter 25 of the Tao Te Ching. And as I read it, this is one way of arriving at the value of each human. Talking about the unknowability and value that exists in the universe as a whole. And I thought it would be most helpful to recognize that this isn't just a thought that comes out of the Tao Te Ching. I pulled together a few different quotes that I thought would be useful here. One from Christianity says, "The all is beyond all limitations. It cannot be comprehended with the human mind. It cannot be measured by any rule. It cannot be seen or talked about. It has no name." Similarly, we see in Krishna, God pervades all that exists in the universe. Above and below, there is only this one. Or in the Mundaka Upanishad, it says, "The formless being which is beyond all things arises in things and never perishes." Similarly, from the Buddha, we see, quote, "Divine mind is eternal. It contains within itself all reality and all truth." Another quote from the same sutra, "Universal mind is not subject to birth and death. It is beyond all concepts of duality." And finally, again, from Lao Tzu, Tao is beyond words. It can only be comprehended in silence. In order to find value and to define it for oneself, it is necessary to let go of those things which we cannot define. There is no clear answer about the nature of the universe, the reason for it being here, the reason even why we are here in this universe as part of it. It's interesting that across all of these great thinkers and these great minds, they seem to point to a couple similar things, though. All of them kind of point at this abstract negative space and say, you know what, it makes sense to look within, to explore this. This is something that we see through the worship in Christianity, through the practice of meditation, through all of these different ways in which people look within to discover what is external to themselves. It's important to mention this in the context of a conversation about capitalism, in that it is pointing to the existence of value that is not always well known and certainly not well defined. At the very most, it can be defined internally, bringing it to the external world and attempting to, even among those who are very close to us, explain what the experience of value is. Telling my wife that I love her, for example, is a really important thing to do. It is important for many reasons. It's a genuine expression of something that is incredibly meaningful to me personally. However, that's not to be confused with the experience of love itself. From the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, all forms, all beings in the universe exist within and in relationship to each other. In the end, all things will return to their essential nature. Krishnamurti, in his book Freedom from the Known, says something that I think is important to note here. Understanding is not an intellectual process. And that gets very difficult for those who are interested in defining something or exploring it. Learning about yourself, he says, is always in the present.